The afternoon sun, crimson and weary, slipped through the gaps in the immense cloud curtain hovering over the Atlantic. The storm, foretold for days, roared like a slumbering monster, swallowing the light and spitting furious gusts of wind. On the bow of the Nautilus, a small, antiquated exploration submersible, I, Elias Thorne, felt adrenaline thrumming in my veins. 10 miles off the coast of Ireland, beneath the turbulent waters, lay the object of my obsession, Dunmore, the submerged city. For years, I had delved into dusty archives, deciphered ancient maps, and scrutinized legends whispered in port taverns. The story of Dunmore was an enigma, a tale of magic and tragedy that haunted my imagination. A city built of black stone, prosperous and vibrant, that vanished beneath the waves on a fateful night, swept away by an unknown fury. Some said it was divine punishment, others, the wrath of an ancestral power. The truth, I hoped, lay in the dark, cold depths. The Nautilus, with its powerful searchlights, was my only hope. Beside me, at the control panel, was Maya, my loyal companion and sonar specialist. Her brown eyes, usually brimming with energy, reflected the tension of the moment. She was the only person I trusted blindly, the only one who shared my passion for history and the unknown. "Pressure stabilized," Maya reported, her voice firm despite the tremor of the submarine. "We are 300 meters deep. Sonar has detected the first structures. Prepare for what lies ahead." My heart hammered in my chest. I gripped the controls, my body tense. The thick darkness, like ink, swallowed the Nautilus. The only light came from the searchlights that tore through the gloom, revealing a breathtaking spectacle. Grotesque rocks, covered in fluorescent algae, formed imposing walls, and amidst them, shadowy silhouettes of buildings. Dunmore lay there, intact, yet irrevocably lost. Gradually, the city revealed itself. Streets paved with dark stones, houses with collapsed roofs, majestic archways, and at the center, the imposing tower of the cathedral, its cross still proudly reaching towards the surface. The melancholic beauty of the submerged city took my breath away. It was as if time had stopped at the moment of the tragedy. With the sonar, Maya began mapping the area, identifying the different structures. With each new discovery, the atmosphere inside the Nautilus grew denser, more charged with anticipation. I felt a presence, an inexplicable sense that we were not alone. "Elias, I've detected something," Maya said, her voice choked. "Inside the cathedral. Something is moving." A shiver ran down my spine. "Prepare the spotlights. Approach cautiously." I steered the Nautilus towards the cathedral, my heart pounding erratically. The searchlights sliced through the darkness, revealing the imposing facade of the church. The windows, once ornate, were now shattered, allowing water to flood the interior. And there, floating in the gloom, was a form. A shadow. As the Nautilus drew closer, the shadow took shape. It was a translucent human figure, like a spirit. Its outstretched arms and vacant eyes seemed to stare directly at the submersible. It's a ghost," Maya murmured, her voice barely audible. I felt torn between fascination and fear. The idea of confronting a phantom, a lost soul, was terrifying. But curiosity, the need to unravel the mystery of Dunmore, propelled me forward. "Move closer," I commanded, my voice hoarse. "We need to understand what's happening." The Nautilus moved slowly, hovering before the translucent figure. The creature did not stir, seeming to observe the submersible with infinite sadness. Then, suddenly, the figure began to move, floating out of the cathedral and towards the Nautilus. "Elias, it's coming towards us," Maya cried out in panic. I focused the searchlights, trying to get a better view of the creature. It was a man, his clothes seeming to be made of stone, his features sad and consumed by the water. He extended a hand, as if wanting to touch the submarine's hull. "Don't be afraid," I said, even though my words sounded more like a whisper to myself. "We won't hurt you. We want to understand what happened here." The figure stopped before the Nautilus's glass, its vacant eyes fixed on mine. Then, to my surprise, it began to communicate. Vivid images, fragments of memories, flooded my mind. Glimpses of life in Dunmore, the bustling marketplace, children playing in the streets, celebrations in the squares. Then, the tragedy. The storm, the panic, the water engulfing the city. And at the center of it all, a dark and powerful energy, an unknown power that destroyed Dunmore. The vision ended, and the figure recoiled, its eyes still fixed on mine. It pointed towards the center of the city, to a specific point, a place that seemed to be the heart of Dunmore. "It's guiding us," Maya said. "It wants us to follow." Without hesitation, I turned the Nautilus and followed the spectral figure, venturing into the labyrinth of submerged streets. The spirit led us through narrow alleys, around crumbling buildings, and finally, to a place that appeared to be a central plaza, a large open space surrounded by imposing buildings. In the center of the plaza, there was a mysterious object, a massive block of black stone, covered in strange runes. "What is this?" Maya murmured, looking at the stone block with apprehension. The figure floated closer to the block, touching it with its translucent hand. Again, images flooded my mind. This time, the vision was clearer, more intense. I saw the dark power that destroyed Dunmore. It was an ancient force imprisoned within the stone, seeking liberation, unleashing the catastrophe. I then understood the truth behind the legend. Dunmore was not a victim of divine punishment, but of an ancestral power that rebelled. And the phantoms that roamed the city were the souls of those killed by this force, trapped in a cycle of suffering. The figure turned to us, pointing to the stone block, then to itself, and finally to the outside of the Nautilus. It seemed to implore us to do something to free the trapped souls. "We need to find out how to free them," I said, my voice filled with determination. "Maya, you need to analyze the runes on the block. Perhaps they will provide us with some clues." Maya nodded, her eyes fixed on the inscriptions. She began working frantically, using the computers to decipher the ancient symbols. The pressure mounted. Time was running out. Meanwhile, the spirit hovered around us, seeming impatient. The darkness of the city, the deafening silence of the depths, the presence of the ghosts, everything conspired to increase the tension. "I found something," Maya exclaimed suddenly. "The runes are a type of spell, a seal that imprisons this dark energy. But there's also a ritual, a way to deactivate it." "What is the ritual?" I asked, my voice anxious. "We need to find 4 artifacts. Each represents an element: earth, water, fire, and air. By combining them, we can break the seal and free the souls." "Where are the artifacts?" we asked, already planning the search. Maya analyzed the sonar maps, locating the points where the artifacts might be. "I believe they are scattered throughout the city. The first is in the cathedral, on the altar. The second, in a bathhouse. The third, on top of the clock tower. And the last, in an ancient blacksmith's workshop." The news filled me with hope. "Let's go. We need to act fast." Cautiously, we began our exploration. The first artifact, a small clay statue representing Earth, was found on the cathedral altar, shrouded in darkness. The spirit guided us, pushing away the dark energy that protected the artifact. The second artifact, a shell containing water, was discovered in the bathhouse, amidst crumbling mosaics and columns. The third, a feather symbolizing air, was found atop the clock tower, where the winds howled and the city seemed to stretch out before us in a ghostly expanse. With each artifact recovered, the dark power seemed to weaken. The spirit, once melancholic, showed signs of hope. The search for the fourth artifact, fire, led us to the blacksmith's workshop. There, amidst rusted furnaces and anvils, we found the last artifact, a small metal emblem representing fire. With the 4 artifacts in hand, we returned to the central plaza, to the stone block. Maya, following the instructions found in the runes, positioned the artifacts in a circle around the monument. "We are ready, Elias," Maya said, her voice trembling. We gathered our last strength. The translucent figure approached, its eyes fixed on us, waiting. I knew this was the decisive moment. If we failed, the dark power would be unleashed, and Dunmore would be lost forever. Maya began chanting the words of the ritual. Energy began to vibrate, and the stone block, previously black and cold, began to glow with an intense light. The dark energy imprisoned for centuries finally broke free. But instead of causing destruction, it was absorbed by the artifacts, which emitted a blinding light. The plaza was filled with a white light, and time seemed to stop. Then, slowly, the translucent figures began to dissolve, ascending towards the surface. The spirits of Dumb Moor, finally freed, left behind the submerged city. The spirit that guided us smiled, a smile full of peace, before vanishing. Darkness returned, but now it was different. The submerged city was still there, but its curse had been broken. "We did it!" Maya exclaimed, tears streaming down her face. I looked around at the silent, dark city. I knew that Dumb Moor would always be there, a testament to history, a reminder of the power of evil and the hope of redemption. Cautiously, I started the Nautilus's engines. We left Dumb Moor behind, leaving its ghosts and secrets behind. We slowly ascended towards the surface, towards the sun, towards a new day. The storm still raged, but deep in my heart, I felt a peace I had never known before. The submerged city and its spirits were finally at peace. And I, Elias Thorne, knew I would never be the same.